Kentucky and Tennessee have electric chairs on standby. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Amazon announcing again it's slashing 9,000 more jobs.
Second largest job cut in that company's history. And this is a part of the overall story we've now been seeing in tech for many, many months. All of these tech companies, they beefed up hiring during the pandemic. They thought the world was going to look the way the pandemic looked. People would continue to buy like they did during the pandemic. That has all changed. And as a result, many, including Amazon, are now doing these layoffs.
ABC's Rebecca Jarvis. 2 Virginia jail inmates have been recaptured after tunneling through a cell block wall. The Newport News Sheriff's Office says John Garza and Arlie Nemo were missing after a Monday night head count at the Newport News Jail Annex. They were captured hours later by police in neighboring Hampton. This is ABC News.
3 little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times. Like in the middle of the morning rush, when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. Pepto Kids chewables provide fast relief for common stomach issues, turning those 3 words into these 3 words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for Pepto Kids chewables. Fast relief for little tummies. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Daria Albinger, ABC News.
I'm Kate Burdett on the Ohio News Network. East Palestine is on the Pennsylvania border, and yesterday, lawmakers in the Keystone State brought Norfolk Southern's CEO in to testify about last month's train derailment. Alan Shaw was peppered with questions about the decision to burn off hazardous materials 2 days after the derailment.
I saw the smoke plume, and I know what it looked like, but it was the right decision to make, and the testing afterwards supports that.
Shaw said the risk of a catastrophic explosion outweighed all other options. This week, Ohio's governor is heading to Capitol Hill in Washington to talk about the train derailment. More from ONN's Kaylee Marintat.
Governor DeWine will speak at a U.S. Senate committee hearing on the derailment. He'll be joined by U.S. Senators Sherrod Brown and J.D. Vance. Norfolk Southern CEO and the National Transportation Safety Board Chair will be witnesses at that hearing. In Toledo, Kaylee Marintat.
And the Ohio State women's basketball team has made it to the Sweet 16. They'll play UConn in Seattle on Saturday after a thrilling 71-69 win over North Carolina in front of a home crowd yesterday. Senior guard J.C. Sheldon made the winning shot.
I knew it was going in, but we still had possession of defense play after that, so that was our focus, getting ready for that and being able to guard for that one last second.
OSU is just 2 wins away from their first Final Four in 30 years. The other Ohio team still in the tournament, Toledo, was defeated by Tennessee yesterday, 94-47. I'm Kate Burdett on the Ohio News Network.
304-214-1600. Call the Watchdog with your thoughts. We'll be right back to Local Talk.
It's that time of year. This March, take your first shot at college hoops with FanDuel Sportsbook and get 10 times your first bet amount in bonus bets up to $200. That's right, just bet $20 on the bracket and you'll land $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. That's $200 you can spend betting everything from the money line to the point spreads to that 5 versus 12 seed matchup you've been eyeing. All on an app that's safe, secure, super easy to use. No better place to bet the tournament than FanDuel Sportsbook. Sign up today by going to FanDuel.com, use my name, Monroe, in the promo code box, and make every moment more with FanDuel all tournament long. You must be 21 or older, physically present in West Virginia. First online real money wager only, $10 deposit required. Refund is issued as a non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See more terms at FanDuel.sportsbook.com. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net.
Oh yeah, the perks keep rolling in with Belmont Savings Bank.
More benefits? What now?
It's my Kasasa Cashback account. I opened one up a few months ago and keep getting cash back in my account. I get reimbursed for ATM fees nationwide and earn 3% cash back on my debit card purchases.
Really? 3% with BSB?
Really and truly. Kasasa Cashback only at Belmont Savings Bank.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
What if your bank offered new checking and savings accounts with a very low balance required, online bill pay, and debit cards issued right away?
I would like that.
What if that bank had extended hours every business day and were open on Saturdays and most holidays?
That's incredible.
And if all their accounts had low fees or no fees?
That's money in the bank. The right bank.
Open your checking and savings account at Main Street Bank. You deserve a bank this good. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Dirty Dog Tavern in West Liberty wants to wish the Toppers best of luck in the NCAA Division II Men's Basketball Tournament. Go Toppers! Preserve your roots, grow your legacy. The Preferred Legacy Trust Company wants to wish the Toppers best of luck in the NCAA Division II Elite 8.
Highland Sports Complex is the coolest destination for sports and entertainment the Ohio Valley has ever seen. Pop in for some open basketball in our field house or reserve some turf time for your next practice or game on our synthetic fields. Online registration is open for development classes and leagues for youth and adults. Highland Sports is also the hottest destination for birthday parties and other events. So come challenge yourself on our play climb and enjoy your favorite virtual reality game in the arcade. No memberships required, so visit highlandsports.com to find your next entertainment experience and get ready to reach new heights.
Looking for insurance that gives you options? Then head to Fronapple Burkett Insurance. With multiple carriers to choose from, you can find the perfect policy for you. And our rates? Unbeatable. But it's not just about the numbers. Our commitment to awesome service is what sets us apart. We go above and beyond for our customers because we're not just here to sell insurance, we're here to help you protect what matters most. And speaking of community, that's our focus too. Fronapple Burkett Insurance is right here on 3rd Street in Moundsville, and we're committed to giving back to the place we call home. So if you're ready for insurance that's personalized, affordable, and backed by a team that cares, call Fronapple Burkett Insurance at 304-845-9490. Let's protect what matters most together. River City Restaurant is a full-service restaurant, bar, and banquet facility located in the beautiful Artisan Center in the heart of downtown Wheeling, West Virginia. We have catered over 300 functions, including over 100 wedding receptions. With our experienced staff, extensive menu, and fun nightlife, we are the premier dining and event space in the Ohio Valley. Book River City for your next event. 304-233-4555.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Pine Room Podcast here on the Watchdog. Again, massive show for you today. Got a lot of stuff going on. Just talked to West Liberty Athletic Director Lynn Allum. But we got a long way to go here. We got a lot more people to talk to. Again, thank you to Belmont Savings Bank for sponsoring the Live from Evansville, today's special feature. But for right now, without further ado, we're going to head right back to Evansville with EJ. He's got head coach of Nova Southeastern and former head coach of West Liberty University, Coach Jim Crutchfield. Headed down to you, EJ.
All right, thanks, Mark. Hey, before we start this interview with Coach, I have to mention that this interview is brought to you by BKCTG, the best lawyers for me. Personal injury, mineral rights, elder law, bankruptcies, and more. Hometown lawyers protecting local people. Moundsville, West Virginia, 304-845-2580. And, Coach, I know if I didn't mention that ad, I have a feeling you were going to.
Barry Kessler, Crutchfield, Taylor, and Gordon?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And they are the best lawyers for you. They're best lawyers for anybody, no doubt about that.
Yeah, I knew you were going to jump in on that, and we certainly thank Jeff and Eric and Diana for their support of this event. But Coach, it's been an amazing run. In fact, we were just talking. Nova Southeastern has won 64 of their last 65 basketball games, and that is not an anomaly for you. You've had success ever since you started at West Liberty in 2004. But, hey, I want to go back to those early days. I mean, I've known you for a long time. We were tennis partners, and the matches back there were incredibly competitive. Nowadays, we do more talking than we do playing. But how does a guy who really made his mark at West Liberty as a faculty member and a tennis coach up to that point, how does it happen that you inherit a team that had only won 3 games previously and was really a bottom feeder in the West Virginia Conference? How did all this success happen?
Well, I think I got the job because I was the right guy, the right place, probably a little bit of luck involved. Probably not the most popular hire because I didn't really have a great background as far as what I've done as a college basketball coach. I've been there at West Liberty for quite a while. He was coach and a tenured faculty member. And I think they just felt sorry for me. So let's give this guy a chance. And it was a lucky break for me. But I always felt like if you had asked me what job am I supposed to have, I would have said I'm supposed to be the basketball coach here. Fortunate to get the job. Fortunate to have the West Liberty basketball program in my history because people kind of associate me here. 13 years I spent at West Liberty basketball coach. It was longer than that. I was there for 28 years. Very, very close to my heart, West Liberty, and the time there. It's all great to see them here. Also, at the Elite Eight, really special.
Yeah, and you've certainly done a special job. Tell me about the expectations. What were they like back then, and then what have you been feeling over the last number of years as a coach? I think they're a lot different than what they were, aren't they?
It was great when I got the job. I remember Jim Watson said, just try to get through the season. And I thought that's exactly what I want to be here. I don't hear that enough anymore. We're looking for wins. Yeah, I think when I went to Nova Southeastern, probably one of the things I was really looking forward to. Somebody say that again, just get through the season, try to win some games. Maybe the first year, but I think we're back not being the hunter. We're now being the hunter. And a target on our back. People expect us to win basketball games now. We're doing our very best.
Yeah, absolutely. You come in here as the number 1 seed and undefeated on the season. I really enjoyed watching your regional championship game last week, and the thing that I liked the most was after the game was won and the nets were being cut down, I loved watching you cut the net down and throw the net to your grandson, Jay, and the look on his face. I mean, I think that he enjoyed that moment more than anyone.
And that's the second one he's caught. Last time we won, he was down to the corner. And that was more by accident. I just stood up in the air, and he happened to one caught it. This time, I searched him out, found him. My arm's not usually that accurate, but I managed to hit him with a shot from the net from about 15 feet away. And it's just, it's good to have your family there. It's good to be there with friends. It was a great moment. We played great basketball. It was great for the university. I think we've won a few of those, and I've been fortunate to win a few, but it really never gets old.
Yeah, it was really a perfect event. And folks, if you're just tuning in from the Wheeling area, I'm talking live with Coach Jim Crutchfield, the head coach of the Nova Southeastern Sharks, the top-ranked team and undefeated up to this point. And Coach, I have one more question for you, one more thought, and I'm going to turn over to the Pine Room podcast, and I know they've got lots of stuff for you, but I just thought that was a perfect moment with Jay. I heard it was like one shining moment. I heard the music playing, and there he was with the net, and he just looked like he was in a perfect place, and it was awesome. So, Mark, I'm going to turn it over to you, and what do you guys have for Coach?
Coach Crutch, Mark Delbrug here. Good talking to you again. I'm sure you get tired of all these interviews, but it's great talking to you again.
I never get tired of talking to you, Mark. You know that.
Yeah, I go back to how you started all this success, and I think you're always remiss to say that first cookout when Chris Pavlik and I had the hot dogs on the grill outside of, I believe back then it was outside of Bartell.
Absolutely.
And Shane Maynard, Banal, Blair, Bingley were there. I think, honestly, you don't give us enough credit for that first cookout. I mean, you get all the credit, and that sort of goes by the wayside because that's sort of, I think, the way we cooked and had rolled out the red carpet for those guys. I think that was the final nail that recruited all those guys.
I don't doubt that for a second. You're exactly right. I'm still trying to figure out how we've had any success at Nova without bringing you down here to cook some dogs and burgers for me.
I was going to mention that. What happened there? I mean, you get the job, and then I figured you'd take the guys along that made you such a success, and we didn't hear a word from you. It's unbelievable.
Okay. Well, you're getting it right now then. You have the official invite for next September. I'm going to put a specific weekend on the calendar, and I expect you to be down in Fort Lauderdale cooking burgers. Could be a few cold ones on the side over there for you. Now the question is, are you going to be there?
Well, yeah, absolutely, I'm going to be there. But is this going to take some? I mean, you got some recruits coming in that you're going to need help with. That sealed the deal with those guys. Is that what you're going to need? Because I'll have to get with Chris and make sure we get those same hot dogs and we might even bring the same grill.
I would be crazy not to take advantage of that and not bring recruits in if you're there.
All
if
right.
You're there, I will schedule the best recruits and figuring if you're there, we're going to sign them.
Well, that's a deal. We're on. Jared has a very important question for you.
Yeah, Coach. Along with this, I asked you last time when you were on, and I know you're big into this, and you used to be a tennis guy. How's the pickleball game going? You playing well right now?
I'm playing pretty well, but my trash talking is getting really good.
Oh.
We not only trash talk between points, we trash talk during live ball points.
Well, listen.
So it makes it exciting.
Listen, Coach, I got a new knee, and you used to beat me around bad in racquetball, but I'm getting really good in pickleball. So I'm bring my racket, and then when we come down to Cookout, we're going to have a knockdown drag out pickleball match.
You bring the charcoal grill and your pickleball paddle, you may never leave South Florida.
Well, you never did. Doesn't look like you're ever going to. So anyway, Coach, on a serious note, it's awesome, and I heard your interview earlier this afternoon or earlier this morning, and it just is amazing what you've done. We're all proud of you up here, and we're pulling for you as we're pulling for West Liberty. I know there's a long way to go before you guys could potentially meet for a national championship, but boy, that'd be really sweet. But good luck tonight. First of all, I know you said you got a pretty tough draw. We've done some studying on that team. You're gonna have to play well to beat them, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thanks. Always good talking to you, Mark.
Yes, sir. Okay, EJ.
All right, Mark. Thanks a bunch. Now, before we let Coach go, Coach, tell the folks in the Ohio Valley what we can expect from the Nova Southeastern Sharks tonight. Is the style of play similar to what they witnessed at West Liberty? Do you have the rotations? Who's your best players?
It's not similar to West Liberty. It's exactly like West Liberty. Won't be able to tell us apart. Everything is exactly the same. I really had no reason to change. I recruited the type of players to play in that system. So it's going to be aggressive, up-tempo basketball. And unfortunately, this is a team that will thrive in that. This team from St. Louis is really good deal. Some teams that we feel like we need to push the tempo on to our advantage. I'm not sure it's going to be to our advantage. This is the only game we know. So we will go out and play our game. It'll be what you see at West Liberty. Five-man motion offense with aggressive full pressure defense. Open players make good decisions on both ends of the court. See where it falls.
Well, that sounds great. Before I let you go, you brought up the comparison to West Liberty. Watching your regional final, Will Yoakum, who went in the transfer portal and came for his last year to Nova this year, he had 26 points in the first half of your regional final, and you can't get 26 by yourself. What really impressed me was the way your players found the hot gun in that instance and really set him up, and it was really something to see.
And he doesn't create a ton of shots on his own, but he moves great without the basketball. So you are relying on somebody else getting the ball to you. But he has been just a joy to be around. He's such a great kid, not a kid, he's a great young man, personality. And it's really been a pleasure. I signed him at West Liberty before I left. I signed him again. He's healthy now. He's gone through a lot of injuries in his career, but I feel like he's healthy right now. And he's playing probably the best basketball of his life.
Yeah, that's great for him. I know he's had some knee injuries, and in fact, I remember talking to Herb Minch, the longtime trainer, and he was thinking that Will might have one more year left in those knees, and we're certainly glad that he's made the most of it this year.
I hope he has a couple more games left.
Well, thank you, Coach. We really appreciate you stopping by, and this interview was brought to you once again by BKCTGs, the best lawyers for me in Moundsville, West Virginia. So we thank the BKCTG team and Coach Crutchfield for swinging by here today and being part of our live from Evansville broadcast. Thank you, Coach.
I hear the rumor that some of the Berry tests were Crutchfield taking the road trip out here to watch the game live.
Oh.
I think you're. I know for sure that Eric Gordon is out here, and I talked to someone closer to you than Eric, and she said she's not coming unless she makes the final. So
Steve Taylor and Eric Gordon coming out. Diana's a little tougher, but I think that she'll be here also.
Yeah, she said you gotta win a couple, and then she'll be here.
Hey,
I'm not trying to live under that pressure.
Coach Crutch.
What's up, Mark?
Coach
Yeah.
Crutch, Matt Watson's usually on the show with us. He couldn't be here. He sends his hellos and best of luck. And also Jim Watson told me to tell you the best of luck and hopes things go well in the tournament for you. Wanted to pass that on to you.
Appreciate that. Two people that are very dear to me. Thank you very much.
Okay. You good, EJ?
I'm good, and we can let Coach Crutchfield go, and we can talk about him for a few minutes as he heads back in to watch a Black Hills team that he's familiar with from last year's tournament. So once again, thank you, Coach, and I look forward to spending time with you this weekend. And just so you know, Mark, I know he beats you in pickleball, and he always beats me in tennis. He looks like a nice guy, but he's the most competitive guy in town, and I'm going to get him one of these days. So I'm getting in shape right now for that. So we thank you, Coach Crutchfield. And once again, we're live from Evansville, Ohio Valley, brought to you by Belmont Savings Bank. EJ Shawzinski here at the Ford Center, along with the Pine Room Podcast back in Wheeling. Having a great time so far, Mark. How about you?
Yeah, doing a great job down there, EJ. Give us and I heard Lynn Allum talking a little bit about the arena. See, and I have that same feeling. Like, you go to West Liberty and you get 1,500 people there. It's a packed house. You go to West Banco Arena, you get 2,500. It's and all the bottom sections are full. And everybody's on top of you. You get that big crowd feeling. And then, as he's mentioned, the regional at IUP. And I watched. I actually watched some of the Glenville game last night, and you could put 1,000 people in those big arenas, and as he said, it seems empty. So the arena there is what does that seat, EJ? Are you in the arena right now?
You know what? We're actually in a media room off of the court. But you're exactly right. I went out on the court because Coach Crutchfield had lost his sense of direction, so I went out and found him before the interview. And walking out there, exactly right. 11,000 seats, and I bet for this first game, about 10,500 of those seats are empty. So you can imagine, as players, as coaches, you have to create your own energy here because you are not going to have thousands of people behind you in this central location where 6 of the 8 teams have had to fly in here from places like South Florida. And so, but I do anticipate the largest contingent of folks coming from the Wheeling area and West Liberty and the Hilltop. And I think that, I think they'll be small but mighty. We're not going to fill this facility, but I think you'll hear them. And, tune in and watch that game, and I think they'll make a little bit of a difference.
And right now, Black Hills is playing Minnesota Duluth. Is that correct?
Yeah. So they're in the first game, and the winner of that game will play the winner of the West Liberty and New Haven game, which tips off at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time.
But we don't have a set time on that semifinal game yet, correct?
We do not. I think the games are going to be 1 and 3:30 Eastern time, but we do not have the matchups yet. Common sense would say, West Liberty is in the first set of games today. They'll be in the first game on Thursday if they win. But that has not been set yet, and I'm not sure the criteria. I'm not sure how they do that, but I'm on the scene, and I will find out, Mark.
Okay, and so Thursday, for the folks listening, if hopefully West Liberty wins and advances, we will have an abbreviated tailgate, so to speak, show or a pregame show here on the Watchdog on the Pine Room Podcast, probably like 12 to 12:45 or so. Is that correct?
Well, I think let's hold off on making the definite schedule. I'll find out the times here shortly, and we'll get a game plan and make sure we bring the folks in the Ohio Valley all the great coverage from the Elite Eight as we cover West Liberty, and also keep an eye on Coach Jim Crutchfield and wish him the best from Nova Southeastern.
I think Coach Allum made a really good point about the number one seeds. There's only one number one seed in Nova Southeastern. As you can see, there's only two number one seeds left in the Division I. So I think that the talent level with the transfer portal, the NIL, everything else that's going on, recruiting, guys leaving early, I think the field is evened out quite a bit across all levels of the NCAA. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, and if you're able to get to this point to be one of the final 8 teams, you're really good. And so a lot of it depends on matchups. Look at the matchup where West Liberty went up to IUP. Folks were worried about that, but I would. In fact, I said this to Todd Tover, our president at Belmont Savings Bank, before the game. I said, if I had a choice between size and quickness and speed, I'm taking quickness and speed. And you saw that up at
Yes.
IUP, where it looked like the bigger, stronger IUP team was running in cement, and the Hilltoppers put it on them that night.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, well, I hate to cut it short here, but we're going to head to break. For people that are just listening or watching, you can watch us on YouTube Live at the Pine Room Podcast on YouTube. But we're going to say thank you to Belmont Savings Bank for sponsoring live from Evansville. Thank you for EJ for headed down there all that way, but we still got a long way to go. I keep saying it. Coming up in the next half hour, we got the skipper, the man of the hour, Coach Ben Howlett. We got his interview coming along, sponsored by the Dirty Dog. But for right now, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back here on the Watchdog.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Chris Lawrence. The now former head of the West Virginia State Police believes he was used as a scapegoat. Jan Cahill appeared on Metro News Talkline today, addressing a series of allegations targeted toward the state police in an anonymous letter. Cahill said he never saw that letter and was unaware there was even an investigation until Kenny Bass of WCHS Television broke the story in mid-February.
Not aware of any kind of investigation, completely one-sided. And like I said, he's given this interview to Mr. Bass saying they've already substantiated some things. They don't ask for the first, this was on February 15th, they don't ask for the first record from us on anything until February 19th. And that was right around 206 days later, and he's already saying they've substantiated.
Also appearing on Metro News Talkline today was the governor's chief of staff, Brian Abraham, who was asked why the state police were left out of the investigative loop.
I'll tell you the reason that originated the way it did is many of these allegations included high-ranking officials within the state police, to include the number 2 person, the number 3, and the number 4 person. So who in the state police would have investigated this, if we had given it to them?
You can hear the full Talk-On broadcast posted at WVMetroNews.com. In other news, Governor Jim Justice earlier today appeared at Leon Elementary School in Mason County, signing 4 education-related bills into law. All 4 of those recently approved in the legislative session. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. For the first time in history, the 4th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals will hear in-person cases on the Marshall campus tomorrow in Huntington. Patricia Proctor is founding director of the Simon Perry Center for Constitutional Democracy at Marshall and hopes it is inspiring to students.
I hope they can gain a serious view of the importance of this part of our government and the process of justice.
The judges will hear 3 oral arguments at 9:30 tomorrow at the Joan C. Edwards Performing Arts Center. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Chris Lawrence.
Now at Menards, save big money with 11% off everything. Transform your home with a new garage door from Ideal Door at Menards. We have the largest stock selection in the Midwest with more than 10 different garage doors in stock today. Right now, a 9x7 non-insulated garage door is only $399.99 after 11% rebate. Good through March 26th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards. Are you or your loved ones facing a serious legal battle? The law office of Paul Harris wants you to know you aren't alone. Do you need someone that's not afraid to go to trial and fight for your rights? Attorney Paul Harris and his team are willing to go where most firms are not. The Courtroom. With a successful track record in civil litigation, criminal defense, including tax issues and healthcare fraud, Harris Law Office will fight for their clients by offering the most aggressive representation in and out of court. Call Paul Harris at Harris Law Office for a free consultation. 304-232-5300.
Oh yeah, the perks keep rolling in with Belmont Savings Bank.
More benefits? What now?
It's my Kasasa cashback account. I opened one up a few months ago and keep getting cash back in my account. I get reimbursed for ATM fees nationwide and earn 3% cash back on my debit card purchases.
Really? 3% with BSB?
Really and truly. Kasasa cashback only at Belmont Savings Bank.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
What if your bank offered new checking and savings accounts with a very low balance required, online bill pay, and debit cards issued right away?
I would like that.
What if that bank had extended hours every business day and were open on Saturdays and most holidays?
That's incredible.
And if all their accounts had low fees or no fees?
That's money in the bank. The right bank.
Open your checking and savings account at Main Street Bank. You deserve a bank this good. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Highland Sports Complex is the coolest destination for sports and entertainment the Ohio Valley has ever seen. Pop in for some open basketball in our field house or reserve some turf time for your next practice or game on our synthetic fields. Online registration is open for development classes and leagues for youth and adults. Highland Sports is also the hottest destination for birthday parties and other events. So come challenge yourself on our play climb and enjoy your favorite virtual reality game in the arcade. No memberships required, so visit highlandsports.com to find your next entertainment experience and get ready to reach new heights.
Looking for insurance that gives you options? Then head to Fronapple Burkett Insurance. With multiple carriers to choose from, you can find the perfect policy for you. And our rates? Unbeatable. But it's not just about the numbers. Our commitment to awesome service is what sets us apart. We go above and beyond for our customers because we're not just here to sell insurance, we're here to help you protect what matters most. And speaking of community, that's our focus too. Fronapple Burkett Insurance is right here on 3rd Street in Moundsville, and we're committed to giving back to the place we call home. So if you're ready for insurance that's personalized, affordable, and backed by a team that cares, call Fronapple Burkett Insurance at 304-845-9490. Let's protect what matters most together. Dirty Dog Tavern in West Liberty wants to wish the Toppers best of luck in the NCAA Division II men's basketball tournament. Go Toppers!
The Highland Sports Complex is the Ohio Valley's most exciting place to play. A state-of-the-art facility offering fun for the whole family with a climbing wall, arcade, indoor turf, hardwood courts, classes and camps for kids and adults. Plus, you can take a break in the on-site cafe. Learn more online at hitthehighlands.com, or better yet, stop in and visit the Highlands Sports Complex at the top of the hill off I-70.
Tired of scrolling through endless travel websites and feeling completely overwhelmed? Say hello to See For Yourself, the Ohio Valley's newest travel agency. Their expert advisors consult with you to create the ultimate trip with inside access to the best rates. From cruises to all-inclusives and everything in between, they've got you covered. Stop wasting your time and your money and start seeing for yourself. Inquire for free at seeforyourself.fun. That's SEA for yourself.fun. Not that boring .com stuff. seeforyourself.fun. River City Restaurant is a full-service restaurant, bar, and banquet facility located in the beautiful Artisan Center in the heart of downtown Wheeling, West Virginia. We have catered over 300 functions, including over 100 wedding receptions. With our experienced staff, extensive menu, and fun nightlife, we are the premier dining and event space in the Ohio Valley. Book River City for your next event, 304-233-4555. Preserve your roots, grow your legacy. The Preferred Legacy Trust Company wants to wish the Toppers best of luck in the NCAA Division II Elite Eight.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Pine Room Podcast here on the Watchdog. We're halfway through our Live from Evansville, our brand new special show brought to you by Belmont Savings Bank. Right now on the line, we have the man of the hour, Coach Ben Howlett for West Liberty University. But real quick, before we get into that, I want to shout out the rest of our sponsors here: River City, Fronapple and Birkin Insurance, See For Yourself, Highland Sports Complex, BKCTG, Dirty Dog, Robinson Auto Group, The Preferred Legacy Trust Company, Main Street Bank, and Paris Insurance. Like I said, we got a big show for you today. A lot of stuff still coming up. If you're still interested in watching us live on YouTube, you can head over to our to the Pine Room Podcast on YouTube and look and watch us live. Unfortunately, we don't have a camera there down on EJ, but you can listen to all the great interviews coming up. But right now, without further ado, let's send it down to EJ with Coach Ben Howlett in Evansville.
All right, Job and Mark. Well, thank you very much. Let's turn this down a little bit. But anyhow, you're exactly right. This event was made possible by all the sponsors, and especially Belmont Savings Bank. Am I coming in okay?
You're a little warbly for me, but
screechy.
Keep going again. Keep going.
Yeah, I'm gonna make some adjustments here on my end.
Well, while he's getting that figured out, let's talk about what we got going on here right now. Again, Coach Ben Howlett coming on right now between the hours of 1:30 and 2, and then we've got Dr. Kathy Monterosso coming up, and then we got even more guests following that at the last half hour of the show. But for right now, we got Coach Ben Howlett down there in Evansville. We had some great talks with one of the winningest coaches in the nation, Coach Jim Crutchfield, and then the West Lib Athletic Director, Lynn Allum. Had some great stuff, great talks with them. And we're going to continue to roll here. We appreciate everybody being involved. A little bit different show for you today. Here hosting the live from Evansville with EJ Shodzinski down there for Belmont Savings Bank.
Yeah, I think we're good now, Mark. Am I coming in better now?
There you are.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Okay, perfect. You know, you never can figure out technology. But, hey, before we start this interview with Ben, we want to let the folks know that the Dirty Dog Tavern made this interview possible, and Pete Miller, the owner of the tavern, wants me to ask Ben personally. Ben, have you ever had wings at the Dog?
Absolutely. Best wings in West Virginia. And, Pete's been kind enough to feed our players multiple times throughout the breaks. We're at school, and there's no class. Our guys love them as well, and all ballots say they're the best wings in West Virginia.
Yeah, and not only are they great wings, Pete's passion for the Hilltoppers is unmatched. You know, he believes black and gold, and we thank you, Pete, so much for making this interview possible.
Yeah, he's awesome, and I've gotten to know him over the past 6 years since I've been head coach. And he's been an incredible supporter of our program and really treats people the right way. He treats our players very well. So very fortunate to have Pete in my life.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Pete. Now, Ben, this is your 6th year here. And I know why Pete's giving you all those wings, because in 6 years, your record is an astounding 159-24. And the winning percentage is 87%, which makes you the winningest coach in college basketball right now. And how have you done it?
Good players. Again, I've got 3 really good assistant coaches. And we work really hard. We spend a lot of time on the team, outside of practice, recruiting, and I think that's the most important part of the program is getting not only good basketball players, but getting really good people on the court as well. And we've been very fortunate to do that.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I know a lot of the kids personally, and they always represent you and the team and West Liberty very well, so I congratulate you on that. But let's talk more about the team. And so I've had a chance this year to follow you closely, and I've watched probably around 10 of the games in person. And so far, you know, you've achieved your goals. You know, your Mountain East regular season championship, tournament championship, and then you go on the road to IUP, a team that, you know, they don't lose up there too much, particularly in a regional final. And from what I can tell, it seems like the Hilltoppers are playing their best basketball. They're peaking at the right moment. What do you think?
I would agree. And as far as the regional, I think we won the regional semifinal and the regional final. Probably different if we won most games this season. I thought we did it with our half-court defense. I thought our half-court defense was really good, and like you said, IUP doesn't lose too many games in general, but they definitely don't lose too many games at home. And but I'm going to be honest with you, I felt at times it was almost a home game for West Liberty. They have a great following out there, and now it's time to put that tournament behind us and really focus on this tournament.
Sounds good, and I don't want to monopolize the entire interview. I'm going to turn it over to the Pine Room boys. Hey, would you guys like to ask a question of Ben?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Ben, Mark Delbrug here. Congratulations on the Mountain East Conference tournament and the regional tournament championship. I talked to Lynn Allum a little bit before you came on. I said, it's amazing that you go to your games and you see, as you just mentioned, it's almost like a home game for you guys. And I think, from my feeling, and you could give your perspective, I think the crowd has grown over the years just because your guys are easy to root for. They're very humble. I could give you a really good example of that about Bryce Butler when you guys didn't play real well out at Wheeling, and they were on him pretty good. There was a couple guys from Wheeling that were on him pretty good. He was struggling, didn't have his best game of the year, but he stayed away. He didn't get any trash talking. He just stayed away from the trouble. He didn't say much, but he has come back now and playing obviously the best basketball of his career. But back to your kids, just like him, easy to root for, humble, play the game hard, do it the right way, don't cry and whine at the officials. And I think you stress that to your team as Coach Crutchfield did before you. Is that your feeling of your crowd and why you have such a great following?
Yeah, I think that's fair, and it goes back to the recruiting. Just recruit the right guys. We don't want to recruit guys that are more into themselves. We want guys that are totally bought into the team aspect. We want to get guys that we don't have to walk to class. They just kind of make the right decision and go to class. I can tell you, this group this year has just been a lot of fun for me. I've said this a couple times. Get them on the bus, and they're about as goofy as you can be. But when you get them in public, you get them into a restaurant, or you get them around somewhere downtown, wherever, they know how to act. Please, thank you, and that's something that we look for. There's been guys that we've wanted basketball-wise, but we didn't feel like they fit in what we were looking for. So, again, super proud to be these guys' coach. They're only competitive when you get them on the floor, but again, off the floor, they're super humble.
Yeah, and I think that's something that's lost today in our society with teams and with players is that aspect of just life in general. You're not going to win every game. You're not going to win every championship. You're eventually going to graduate, and then you have to go on in life. And I think that carries over. We had Bryce and Steve on our show last week, and what great kids they are. They're not just great basketball players, but as you mentioned, I heard you talking earlier. Great kids, just fun to be around, humble. I mean, it's a kids you could just go out and root every day for, and you feel bad when they lose, but they're going to be a success in life.
Yeah, I would agree. And the way we look at things is we got to be around these guys, for 9 months of the year. We might as well like them, right? We might as well surround ourselves with guys we like. And I can say all 14 guys on our roster we have a really good relationship with, both on and off the court. It's very blessed to be able to be.
Yeah, and one of the guys that stands out to me is like a really, really humble guy. I've never seen him throw 3 fingers in the air or do any stupid stuff when he makes a 3 as Zach raises his heel. He's like, he makes a 3 and all he does is look for the guy that he's going to guard next. He doesn't ever hot dog and he doesn't ever say anything. He as soon as it's out of his hand, he knows it's in. He's looking for the guy you got to go defend. He impresses me in that aspect.
Yeah, he better. Zach is a kid that a lot of people don't know that he's actually the second leading scorer in the state of Ohio history. So you look at him, and he doesn't look like much. He's 5'10", but he plays really hard. And I think the best attribute about his he's actually a really good defender. And he's tough and he's down as a high school coach. It's really hard on him throughout high school. And just like you said, though, ultra quiet kid, knows how to act, please and thank you, but when you get him on the court, he means business.
Yeah, Coach, I have a similar question to, how important guys' personalities and how they are as a human being plays into your recruitment. Has there ever been a situation, obviously you don't have to say any names, but has there ever been a situation where you see a guy might be looking after a guy that, statistically could put some shots up and do well for you, but just the way that he is or, his personality or maybe the way he acts is just something you don't want in your ball club? Has that ever been a part of your recruitment process?
Yeah, and obviously we make mistakes too in recruiting, and just a few years ago we brought a young man in and was extremely talented, but never bought into the team concept of the things that we do, and I actually let him go in the middle of the season. Said it wasn't working out, and to this day I think that was the best decision I made in my head coaching career. Like, it wasn't fun at the time. It was 5 minutes of misery for myself, but I thought it made our team better, and he just wasn't in. He didn't buy into the team concept, and he didn't buy into our West Liberty way of doing things. So, absolutely, I agree with your point.
Hey, Coach, I want to switch gears here real quick because I know you get a million basketball questions, and we were talking about the Dirty Dog and about how they feed you guys and all that. What's your go-to wing flavor up at the Dog?
I'm a mild guy. I'm kind of a baby when it comes to wings.
Oh, come on,
I'm
Coach.
a mild guy. Yeah, I know. I'm a baby when it comes to wings. Here's the thing. Like, I can do really hot stuff. Like, I could probably take down the hottest wings if I really wanted to. I just don't enjoy that. But I'm a mild guy, so you can call me a baby. I know you guys will, and but I'll take that. Really good wings still at the Dog.
Yeah, so I gotta agree with you. The mild is very good, and I don't judge you on the hot. And one more question here: did you get Subway today?
You know it. You got to, right? Like, if we break that, we're definitely not going to win. So Subway, 3 hours before the game for 15 years, we're never going to change that.
Stephen Bryce told us exactly what they get on their sub every single time, so we know what they get. So
yeah, here's the thing with that, and I've gotten the same sub for 15 years. Never changed my sub, and my wife thinks I'm crazy because I get the same exact thing every single time, but we've won a lot of basketball games in that time, so we're not changing.
Well, listen, Coach, when you we're going to send it back to EJ. After you win a national championship, I'm buying your first pound of wings at the Dirty Dog and your first cold one. So good luck. Hey, we're pulling for you up here. We'll be watching, rooting, and getting ready for Thursday.
All right, thanks for all you guys do.
Hey, Mark, leave it to you guys to break sort of the tension here at the national tournament with the talk about the wings and the Subway. But I've got to finish, Ben, with a serious question. Tell me a little bit about New Haven, and we don't see them in the Ohio Valley, and so what's the scouting report today?
Yeah, so very well coached. He's a disciple of John Beeline, so a lot of stuff that people from West Virginia saw back in the day when John Beeline was head coach. These guys are going to run. Extremely well coached, well schooled. They don't get out of their element. Got a good 7-footer inside, which we don't see too often, but he impacts the game on defense. Alter shots, rebounds at a high level, and offensively he sets a lot of ball screens. And then I think as far as their guards, he's got two big guys on their team that are transferred that are really good, and they've won a lot of games themselves. So got our hands full. The one thing I will say is they're not the deepest of teams. They're going to play 6 or 7 guys, so hopefully our depth can help us a little bit, and I think it's going to be a really good game.
Well, I agree, and I can't wait for tip-off at 3:30. And one final note here: when I think of West Liberty and West Liberty basketball, I think of community, and certainly the community has enabled us to put this event on here today. Lots of sponsorships. Tell me what the West Liberty community means to you in your program, because they've certainly been so supportive over your 6-year term.
Yeah, and even going back to when I was an assistant coach and when I was a player, I brag on our fan base all the time. I think we've got the best fans in Division II, and our guys certainly don't overlook that. They're very appreciative of that. And here's the thing I like about them: they want to win, right? A lot of other schools and universities, they don't really care if they win or lose at our level, but West Liberty fans, they care if you win or lose, and not only that, they want to score a bunch of points. So very appreciative and thankful of our fan base, and we're really looking forward to seeing them today.
Yeah, most definitely. And folks, if you're just tuning in from the Ohio Valley, I'm sitting here talking live in Evansville with West Liberty coach Ben Howlett, and we're just getting ready to conclude the interview, and we're talking about the great support from the West Liberty community. One final note. I watched the regional championship against IUP, and I thought it was really cool that the chants of MEC seemed to drown out the chance of PSAT throughout the game, and I thought that was really impressive.
Yeah, I did too. I thought, our fans had a lot of fun in IUP. And again, thank you to the support staff at West Liberty Alumni Association for, getting some buses together to bring to IUP. And, I thought that was pretty cool. I really, a lot of times, don't notice what the crowd is saying or wherever they're chanting, but, when I thought the game was intact and I heard the MEC chant, I thought that was really cool. And it made our, I got messages from other coaches saying they heard it on the live feed, so it was really, really cool.
Yeah, okay, so fellas, back in the studio, we want to thank, for everybody on the team, we want to thank West Liberty coach Ben Howlett for stepping by today and talking with us. Coach, we're proud of all you've accomplished this year and over your tenure at West Liberty, and we wish you the best of luck here today and throughout this tournament, and we're all pulling for you. So thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and again, thank you for everyone back home listening, and it doesn't go unnoticed.
All right, Ben, good luck, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Awesome stuff.
So let me jump in here real quick, guys, and I just want to thank Ben as he walks out, and I want to make sure we have a shout out here to the Dirty Dog Tavern and Pete Miller with the best wings in town. And Pete, thanks for making this interview with Ben possible. Now I turn it back to you guys in studio.
Yeah, well, these guys in here, Jubb and Jarrett, are both West Lib graduates, and they spent quite a bit of time at the Dirty Dog, so they know Pete Miller very well. They've eaten all the food there. Actually, I've stopped in there many, many times, baseball games and other events going on at West Liberty, Alumni Day and everything else. And Pete's one of the best guys around. Just supports all the student athletes, no matter what sport, and he's always reaching out and helping out with being there for the teams, and then financially helping out whenever he can, and then feeding everybody too. My goodness, I bet he goes through a lot of wings up there. Jarrett,
he hydrates everyone too. I'm a big fan of the $1 IC lights. That's probably my favorite thing around. But yeah, Pete's awesome. He's great to all the athletes, and I know our Pine Room member Soup. He's even got his jersey hung up in the dog for him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he does. He does. He's got his jersey. It says Campbell Jr. on there, if you weren't aware. He was a junior.
Because he's a big celebrity. Well, real quick, I'm going to run down with what we still have coming up. Of course, we had West Liberty Athletic Director Lynn Allum at the 12:30 break. We had the winningest coach, one of the winningest coaches in the nation, Coach Jim Crutchfield, head coach of Nova Southeastern. And then we just had the skipper himself, Coach Ben Howlett for West Liberty University. We still got a couple more interviews to go here. Coming up after the break, we have Dr. Kathy Monteroso, sponsored by Robinson Auto Group. And then we have Al Rozchek. And then I'm gonna get this right, Dave Cafaro, and then apologies to John Guadagnino. I was saying Gaudino, but we got that right there. But they're coming up. That's sponsored by the Premier Legacy Trust. We still got a long way to go here. We got a couple more minutes before we head to break. But this has been really fun. Thank you to EJ for heading over there and talking to all these guys, getting this set up over there. But again, you're listening to live from Evansville, from Belmont Savings Bank, hosted by the Pine Room Podcast here at the Watchdog. Your regularly scheduled programming wasn't exactly the same as it usually is today, but coming up next week we will have some normal stuff. We got, of course, if you're looking for your two lies and a Florida guy, we got the Time Machine. We're talking sports, news, all kinds of stuff. Tune in every Tuesday and Thursday from 12 to 3. And then on Monday, if you're interested in sports, all things sports outside of March Madness, we are on the radio on Mondays from 2 to 3. So you can listen to us right after the Sestatsky show, right here on the Watchdog.
Yeah, and I want to send a shout out to EJ. First of all, for being there, but second of all, for throwing this together. He did this in a short period of time. Teamed up with Kayleen and myself and the rest of the Pine Room guys, threw this together. And for you that don't know EJ, he's quite a name in the Ohio Valley. He was a coach. He was an athletic director. He's the CAO of Belmont Savings Bank, and he currently does some broadcasting for Metro News. Did quite a few games down at the Mountain East Conference with some pretty big names. I don't know if you worked with Caridi or not, but you've worked with some other guys that have been around a long time, and he did a lot of West Liberty basketball games too. So, EJ, thanks to you for putting this all together in Belmont Savings Bank, and we really appreciate it.
You got it, Mark. Lots more to come down here.
Yes. So we are going to head to break right now. You're listening to Live from Evansville, sponsored by Belmont Savings Bank, hosted by the Pine Room Podcast, right here on the Watchdog. We're going to take a quick break, hit some of these great ads, and then we'll be right back with Dr. Kathy Monteroso down there in Evansville. So you're listening to the Pine Room Podcast right here on the Watchdog.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600, WKKX Wheeling.
From ABC News, I'm Daria Albinger. The U.S. is moving up the date it will deliver some much-needed military equipment to Ukraine. An official confirming the 31 Abrams tanks will now be sent by this fall. The Pentagon refurbishing some older units instead of building new ones. Russian President Putin says China's so-called peace plan could be a basis for a peaceful settlement in Ukraine.
It's going to be interesting to what extent Putin can nudge Xi to talk more about Ukraine. What kind of communique is Xi willing to make at the end of this summit? You know, it means so much to Russia to have President Xi shoulder to shoulder at this precise time in history, and really as the conflict, you know, is the backdrop to this whole summit.
ABC's Tom Sufi-Burridge in Kyiv. There's no indication Manhattan's district attorney will indict former President Trump today, as Mr. Trump has predicted.
There is a tremendous burden on this DA to look non-biased, to look calm, to look rational, to look as though he's simply following the facts and the law, and to avoid feeding into a narrative of chaos and flailing around, which will hurt the prosecution, if there is one, and help Donald Trump.
ABC News legal contributor Jeffrey Robbins. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen told a room full of banking representatives today their system can withstand the recent two failures of regional banks and troubles at a third, First Republic. The Fed is expected to consider the strain on banks when it meets today and tomorrow.
Wall Street's sort of split on this. Some think we're going to get a smaller quarter-point rise in rates tomorrow as the Fed continues its fight against high inflation. It is still high at 6%. Or will they just leave interest rates alone and give the banking sector an opportunity to sort of stabilize?
ABC's Alexis Christoforos. A strong earthquake rattled the capital of Pakistan, Islamabad, magnitude 7.7. You're listening to ABC News.
It's March, and you know what that means. Taxes are almost due. Jackson Hewitt can help you win tax season. That's the sound of your maximum tax refund. The sound of getting 50% off tax prep. The sound of many of our competitors' prices going up. And the sound of getting to your nearest Jackson Hewitt. Hurry in for 50% off tax prep before this offer expires April 9th. Limited time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
Spilled your milkshake? Quick, the quicker picker upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker. And each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading ordinary brand. So you can get back to your milkshake.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than your
Bounty, the quicker picker upper.
TikTok is revamping some of its rules around deep fakes as scrutiny of the platform intensifies.
Deep fakes are videos or pieces of audio that have been digitally manipulated. For example, President Biden never sang this Ice Spice song.
Just listen to this verse, folks. They say that I'm good enough.
But on TikTok, that deep fake has been watched over 650,000 times. Now the platform is updating its guidelines around synthetic media, saying all videos that use deepfake technology must be clearly labeled, and deepfaking any real private figure is prohibited. The company's CEO, Shouzi Chu, is set to answer questions on Capitol Hill this Thursday as the Biden administration weighs a potential TikTok ban.
Folks, American music is good for the economy.
Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Attorneys general from 23 states are calling on Korean automakers Hyundai and Kia to take action as vehicle thefts surge. In Milwaukee alone, nearly 7,000 of the vehicles were stolen in 2021. That's a nearly 800% increase in 1 year. The city's assistant police chief, Paul Formolo, says the problem isn't just affecting the car owners. He says the stolen vehicles are often driven recklessly or they're used to commit crimes.
Many of our shooters are shooting from stolen vehicles, and many of our shooting victims are being shot in stolen vehicles.
The companies have offered software upgrades. This is ABC News.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
Daria Albinger, ABC News.
I'm Kate Burdett on the Ohio News Network. A woman has died from her injuries days after a house fire on the south side of Toledo, marking the city's first fire-related death of the year. ONN's Tracy Townsend has more.
Toledo Fire and Rescue says the blaze occurred 8 days ago. Search crews located a woman on the second floor. She was taken to a hospital by Life Squad but has since passed away. Her identity has not been released. A dog in the house at the time of the incident did not survive. Firefighters say no working smoke detectors were found in the house. That fire was ruled accidental. I'm Tracy Townsend.
As speculation continues about former President Donald Trump being indicted for allegedly paying hush money to porn star Stormy Daniels, an Ohio congressman wants to go after the prosecutor in the case. ONN's Kevin Landers explains.
House Republicans, including Representative Jim Jordan of Ohio, sent a letter calling for Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg to testify before their panels about the ongoing probe. The group calls Bragg's investigation a, quote, unprecedented abuse of prosecutorial authority.
What changed? President Trump announces he's running for president, and Shazam, now we're gonna some bookkeeping error from 7 years ago is misdemeanor is now what they're going after. So it makes absolutely no sense.
I'm Kevin Landers.
And tomorrow, Governor Mike DeWine plans to pay East Palestine another visit. He says he'll make an announcement about health care for families who have told him about their concerns. I'm Kate Burdett on the Ohio News Network.
Why? Just think about it. Why is the #1 selling brand of chainsaws not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot? We can give you over 10,000 reasons. That's how many authorized local steel dealers you can find across the country. Visit one and you'll find a range of dependable gas and battery-powered tools, from trimmers to blowers. And you'll find service from experienced professionals. Real steel. Find yours at steelusa.com. Lowe's and Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today. Check out Toyota's wide range of all-wheel and four-wheel drive vehicles, like a sporty Camry or a stylish Corolla, both with great MPGs. Or come in and test drive a new RAV4, Highlander, or Corolla Cross, each with plenty of cargo room, so you can be ready for any adventure. Visit buyatoyota.com, the official website for deals. Hurry, offers end April 4th. Toyota, let's go places.
Stand by. You're back to live and local programming in moments on the Watchdog.
It's an historic Nailers hockey weekend, starting with Hall of Fame night on Friday, March 24th. Enjoy $2 beers, see Stanley Cup champion Peter Laviolette and former Thunderbirds captain Brock Woods. Saturday features full team post-game autographs with a custom poster provided. Both games start 7:10. Then on Sunday, it's full team post-game skate. Puck drops 4:10. Join Nailers Army. Call or go online for tickets.
I'm Coach Derek Army, and I'm drafting you for a hockey weekend.
Get tickets for the Nailers Hall of Fame night, Friday, March 24th. See this year's inductees like Stanley Cup champion and Washington Capitals head coach Peter Laviolette and former Thunderbirds captain Brock Woods. Bring the gang and enjoy $2 beers. Puck drop 7:10. Join Nailers Army for this historic game, March 24th. Call or go online for tickets.
Hi, this is Peter Laviolette, coach of the Washington Capitals. Come out and celebrate Nailers Hall of Fame night with me and Brock Woods, this year's inductees.
Oh yeah, the perks keep rolling in with Belmont Savings Bank.
More benefits? What now?
It's my Kasasa Cashback account. I opened one up a few months ago and keep getting cash back in my account. I get reimbursed for ATM fees nationwide and earn 3% cash back on my debit card purchases.
Really? 3% with BSB?
Really and truly. Kasasa Cashback only at Belmont Savings Bank.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
What if your bank offered new checking and savings accounts with a very low balance required, online bill pay, and debit cards issued right away?
I would like that.
What if that bank had extended hours every business day and were open on Saturdays and most holidays?
That's incredible.
And if all their accounts had low fees or no fees?
That's money in the bank. The right bank.
Open your checking and savings account at Main Street Bank. You deserve a bank this good. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Highland Sports Complex is the coolest destination for sports and entertainment the Ohio Valley has ever seen. Pop in for some open basketball in our field house or reserve some turf time for your next practice or game on our synthetic fields. Online registration is open for development classes and leagues for youth and adults. Highland Sports is also the hottest destination for birthday parties and other events. So come challenge yourself on our play climb and enjoy your favorite virtual reality game in the arcade. No memberships required, so visit highlandsports.com to find your next entertainment experience and get ready to reach new heights.
Looking for insurance that gives you options? Then head to Fronapple Burkett Insurance. With multiple carriers to choose from, you can find the perfect policy for you. And our rates? Unbeatable. But it's not just about the numbers. Our commitment to awesome service is what sets us apart. We go above and beyond for our customers because we're not just here to sell insurance, we're here to help you protect what matters most. And speaking of community, that's our focus too. Fronapple Burkett Insurance is right here on 3rd Street in Moundsville, and we're committed to giving back to the place we call home. So if you're ready for insurance that's personalized, affordable, and backed by a team that cares, call Fronapple Burkett Insurance at 304-845-9490. Let's protect what matters most together. Dirty Dog Tavern in West Liberty wants to wish the Toppers best of luck in the NCAA Division II men's basketball tournament. Go Toppers!
The Highland Sports Complex is the Ohio Valley's most exciting place to play. A state-of-the-art facility offering fun for the whole family with a climbing wall, arcade, indoor turf, hardwood courts, classes and camps for kids and adults. Plus, you can take a break in the on-site cafe. Learn more online at hitthehighlands.com, or better yet, stop in and visit the Highlands Sports Complex at the top of the hill off I-70. Exciting place to play. A state-of-the-art facility offering fun for the whole family.
The Preferred Legacy Trust Company wants to wish the Toppers best of luck in the NCAA Division II Elite 8. Tired of scrolling through endless travel websites and feeling completely overwhelmed? Say hello to See For Yourself, the Ohio Valley's newest travel agency. Their expert advisors consult with you to create the ultimate trip with inside access to the best rates. From cruises to all-inclusives and everything in between, they've got you covered. Stop wasting your time and your money and start seeing for yourself. Inquire for free at seeforyourself.fun. That's SEA4yourself.fun. Not that boring.com stuff. seeforyourself.fun.
right, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Pine Room Podcast here on the Watchdog. I am joined by Coach and Jarrett here in the studio, but we have a loaded show ready to go. We got more things to come, more things to come. We got a lot of guests left on the list and a lot of things to cover yet. But we have somebody on the line, somebody that I didn't think we were going to be able to get. Probably one of the best-dressed commissioners of the MEC. He is the commissioner of the MEC, the best-dressed guest that we probably had all night, maybe all month. And former voice of the Hilltoppers, Mr. Reed Amos, down there in Evansville with EJ. And I'm going to send it right down there right now. EJ, how you doing down there?
We're doing well so far, Mark. And once again, we're live from Evansville, sponsored by Belmont Savings Bank. And we are live with the best-dressed commissioner here, Reed Amos, and this interview is being sponsored by the Robinson Auto Group at the Highlands. So we thank Roberta and the crew very much for the sponsorship. And I'll tell you what, guys, back there, I dressed up pretty good today myself as well. You look great. So I've got my Belmont Savings Bank blue on, and I'm glad to be here with Reed. So
How's Reed
look?
How's Reed look?
Reed looks awesome. He's really representing the MEC as well as all the teams very well as he always does. So I'm going to get started here, and I'll share you. 9 years ago, the WDIAC became the MEC. And sort of, you can help me with the timeline of that time. Tell me about all of the success that has followed the MEC in 9 short years.
Well, essentially, the WDIAC. Can you hear me again?
I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Fortunately, I don't.
Might want to make some adjustments, EJ.
Yeah, EJ, we're losing you a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of crackling. See if you can make a few adjustments.
Yeah, while he's making a few adjustments here, let's run down again. We got the voice of the Hilltoppers, MEC Commissioner, Mr. Reed Amos, on the line. He's down there in Evansville, live from Evansville by Belmont Savings Bank. We're here with the Watchdog, the Pine Room Podcast, hosting live from Evansville. EJ down there with Mr. Reed Amos.
Let's give you a try, EJ.
Well, guys,
there you go.
Went back to my radio days and television broadcasting days, which are now 10 years behind me, I'll note. But no charge for the engineering service. But we did figure out the issue here with the remote mix, and it's a pleasure to be here with you. EJ, back to your question. It's been such an interesting path. Essentially, the WDIAC splintered. There were differing factions within the WDIAC, some that wanted to be highly competitive at the Division II level, wanted to properly invest in athletics in a way that supported the missions and visions of their institutions. And then there were other institutions that didn't want to be a part of being a competitive institution. And so when the Mountain East Conference started, it literally was with the institutions that wanted to have highly competitive leagues. So we faced our mentality when we started the conference. 2012 was when we met, talked about wanting to pursue the creation of a new Division II athletic conference. It is still the newest of the 23 Division II conferences in the country in NCAA Division II. That we talked about wanting to have a conference where we had institutions with similar goals, similar enrollments, similar budgets, similar capacities to compete. The belief was that if we created a highly competitive conference, it's no fun for teams winning 60-point games, and that happened with regularity. When you had, and essentially it came down to a membership that had different goals. So we created a new conference that had goals where all of the institutions in the league had reasonably similar goals, reasonably similar capacities to compete. The league in most sports, most of the time, has been highly competitive with regularity. If you're well prepared and you play in your own conference in a competitive league, when you get those opportunities to play in a region, you're prepared for them. You can perform well. When you get those opportunities to get on a stage like this at an Elite Eight, you're prepared for it. You have the ability to compete for national championships. One of my favorite things to talk about in the successes that our schools collectively have had coming together under the Mountain East umbrella is that when the league started, the overwhelming majority of our members in the Mountain East were members of the WDIAC. Anybody who wasn't was an emerging Division II member transitioning from NAIA. nearly 20 years in Division II, 19 to be specific, only one national championship opportunity, and 0 national championships won in 19 years. In 10 years, our schools have collectively won 6 national titles, 4 different schools in 4 different schools. And all of that has come down to the commitment our institutions have made to create a competitive league, and look at what has grown out of that competitiveness. And in many ways, that competitiveness really started in men's basketball. Even though that's not one of the sports that has yet won a national championship, 2 teams have made the national championship game. 9 years ago here, the first year of the Mountain East, West Liberty, under now Nova Southeastern head coach Jim Crutchfield, gets to the national championship game. A heck of a game with Central Missouri. Central Missouri wins the title. Fairmont State reaches the national title game in 2017. They fall against another MIAA team, Northwest Missouri State. No one really knew at that point that Northwest Missouri State was starting string of 4 national titles in 5 years. They're not here this year, so we'll be a new national champion in Division II. But men's basketball, I think, in many ways, showed our athletic departments how competitive we can be in other sports. And we have seen the rise of the University of Charleston in men's soccer, 3 national titles for UC in men's soccer. And by the way, their head coach heads down the road to Marshall, wins the Division I national championship after not winning as the head coach at UC. 2 national championships for UC, 2 wrestling titles for Notre Dame College. Wheeling University won the national title in 2015 in women's volleyball. And last year, the first ever national championship in basketball, men's or women's, in the history of the state of West Virginia, by Glenville State. We just came from there last night, where they knocked off Tampa to move to the semifinals. They're trying to defend their national championship. I can't tell you how proud I am to put on the suit, like you guys love to talk about, and represent our schools and talk about what collectively our schools are capable of. And another thing that I love talking about is the fact that the average PSAC school nearly doubles any Mountain East Conference school in investment in athletics. We feel like we invest in the things that are important to give our student athletes quality experiences and the opportunities to compete at the highest level. And so we're doing it in a way that's fiscally responsible for our institutions. How difficult the world is right now in higher education, I think understanding how to do that when times are good makes us successful when times are tough like they are right now.
Really well said. And, when you bring up these schools, I also think about enrollment. Tremendous double, triple, 5 times. Look at West Liberty going up to IUP last week. We're talking about 20,000 students versus 2,500 students. And so, you've done a great job, and the teams have as well. But let's look at this tournament. Sure. The 2 winningest percentage-wise coaches
in all divisions.
In all divisions in college basketball hail from West Liberty, and of course Jim Crutchfield, who made his mark at West Liberty before moving on to Nova. They're really setting the pace, and I'm looking forward to a great event here, Reed. How about you?
Oh, most definitely. It's great to be back here in Evansville. This has been the host facility for the Division II National Championship 4 years and not. Over the last decade plus, it's a tremendous venue for a Division II championship. You may not be aware, but I'm proud of what we've done at the Division II level. I'm also chair of the Division II Championships Committee currently. I'm in my last year of 4 years and have been chair last year of this. So, the focus of what we do in Division II Championships Committee is to put on great events and create great experiences for student athletes. And I got to tell you, now being a part of it, having been here years past when West Liberty made its run in 14, then the COVID year in 2021 when West Liberty was here and fell to Northwest Missouri State during Northwest's run of 4 out of 5 championships. This is a great venue for it. Really excited about this week. But you mentioned those 2 coaches who are the 2 winningest coaches that have 5 years of experience in NCAA basketball. They're the 1 and 2 seeds here. Right? You talk about what has been built by West Liberty's program initially, and then how competitive the Mountain East Conference has been, providing a platform for West Liberty and Fairmont State and the University of Charleston and Wheeling under Dan Stancomb. Had some great years, some great players. You look no further than Haywood Highsmith at Wheeling. Never had an opportunity to play in an Elite Eight. Reached the Sweet 16, lost to Fairmont State in 2017, and Fairmont made that run all the way to the national championship. The year before that, heading into our conference tournament, we had 3 of the top 5 teams in the country in Division II, Wheeling, West Liberty, and Fairmont. Competition is crucial to being able to compete at the highest levels, and I think that we've certainly seen our programs, not only in basketball, but do that in a number of sports. We're going to see it on display here in Evansville this week.
Yeah, without a doubt. And folks, if you're just tuning in, I'm talking with Reed Amos, the commissioner of the Southeast Conference, and Reed's done a tremendous job, as have the teams in the program competing nationally. And this week we have the West Liberty Hilltoppers going for their first national title here in Evansville. Mark, I'm going to turn it over to you guys. I know you're chomping at the bit to talk to the next best commissioner in the nation here, Reed Amos.
Reed, Mark Delbrug here. Hey,
hello, Mark.
Yes, sir. I was reading a post that you made. It might have been yesterday, maybe the day before, about the miles that you're going to put on if West Liberty and Glenville women continue to win. Tell me and the listening audience about the miles that you and your travel partner, are going to put on.
Well, Jonathan Griffin from my staff is out on the road with me, and we're splitting the driving. And as much as I love NCAA Division II championships and seeing our programs have opportunities to succeed, no place else I'd rather be than supporting our teams and representing our league in 2 Division II national championship events this week. Made the trek directly out to St. Joe's. Once I took a look at what flights would look like, it was going to take me 8.5 hours to fly and 12.5 hours to drive. So you just get in the car and hang the suits in the back seat, right, and hit the road. So rolled into St. Joseph, Missouri. Yeah, I lost track of what day it is. But it was technically Monday morning about 5 o'clock. Got about 4 hours sleep, went over to the arena, about 4 Division II women's basketball quarterfinals at St. Joseph Civic Arena, and the night will cap by the best game of the day, and defending national champion Glenville State, knocking off Tampa by 10. Tom Jesse's the head coach at Tampa. They were 33-1. Tom Jesse's the former head coach at Bluefield State, an old WVIAC guy that many folks might remember. And Glenville State dismissed Tampa with an impressive performance last night to get to the semifinals for a second consecutive year, coming off of last year's national title win. And we went to Kim Stevens' press conference at about 10:45, hit the road and got here to Evansville about 5:23, and not about, it was exactly 5:23 a.m., got about 4 hours sleep, and here at the arena, and can't wait to see another one of our Mountain East teams have the opportunity to compete on a national stage. So I've done the math. If West Liberty wins today, we're heading back to St. Joe's for Glenville semifinal tomorrow. That's about a 6.5-hour haul. Then we'll come back here and stay the rest of the week, because this year is a really neat year in Division II basketball on the women's side. There is a combined championship for Divisions 1, 2, and 3. You guys might not be aware. It's the 50-year anniversary of Title IX. So they decided to have a celebration at the Division I Women's Basketball Final Four. So the championship games for Division II and Division III will happen on the off day on April 1st between the women's D1 semifinals and the national championship on Friday and Sunday. So if Glenville can win tomorrow over top seed and undefeated Ashland University of Ohio, they will advance to playing in Dallas at the site of the Division I Final Four on April 1st and share Division II championships. I'll be there regardless, but my hope is that we've got a Mountain East Conference team in tow when I head down there. So all told, if West Liberty wins today, it's going to be 2,800 miles this week. I checked in with the rental car company that we rented the car from, even though they recommend an oil change every 3,000 miles, to be just under that in our 1-week trip out on the road following our team. I appreciate that.
Hey, Reed, when you go home, do you reintroduce yourself to your family to say, hey, you guys remember me?
You know, it's really strange, Mark. My daughters and my wife, Jen, seem to be happier in the month of March than any month of the week. And I think I'm beginning to pinpoint the reasoning why. I'm on the road more this month than any time of year. So they say that absence makes the heart grow fonder. I certainly hope that's true.
I can relate to that. Go ahead, EJ.
Yeah, I just want to, I want to finish up this segment by congratulating Reed and the MEC on the tremendous event that takes place annually at West Banco Arena, the MEC tournament. And I personally thank you for allowing me to be a part of that as a broadcaster ever since it came down. I have so much fun with all the guys, and I don't think it could be more of a success than it has been thus far.
It's very kind of you to say, and there are a lot of people that deserve thanks. I look at that as, when you say personally, thank you, I look at it like the coach of the year, giving credit to his players. I mean, my staff is tremendous. Support that we've gotten from the local community in Wheeling has been fantastic, led by the health plan as our title sponsor is the city of Wheeling, the county commission, and the many businesses that support you. You cannot put on quality events like we do at West Banco Arena with our basketball tournament. The product itself is fantastic, but you have to have the support to be able to run the event the way that you want to. And that support that we get doesn't only support that tournament, it allows us, unlike Division I, I'll give you a quick example. I chuckled when the Big 12 and Oklahoma and Texas settled on the exit fee of $100 million. I jokingly said to my staff, that would be enough to fund our conference office operations for a century.
Wow.
We operate on less than $1 million a year. We run 23 sports on behalf of our institution, have a staff of 4, and we do it all for about $900,000 a year. And we do it all for our member institutions, and at the end of the day, we do it for our student athletes. And we can't provide the quality of experience we want, not only in basketball, but what the basketball tournament does for us in managing our finances allows us to put on more quality events for student athletes in all 23 of our sports. So the thank you really goes from me to all of those folks that I mentioned earlier that provide us with the support to put on a great event in Wheeling. And we're excited about taking our baseball tournament to the next level, which is shifting over to what used to be known as Appalachian Power Park, now Gomar Ballpark in Charleston. And we think that those two events, which are our two signature events, will make a big, big difference in creating a platform for high-quality events in all 23 of our championships. So everybody that supports the Mountain East Conference, you are part of the success that Glendale State is having this week. You are part of the success that West Liberty is having this week. Anytime we have success in the conference, it's not like dollars and cents wise what goes on in Division I. Every little bit that's done for us at the Division II level makes a difference. It matters. All of you that support us, we say thank you.
And we say thank you to Reed, too, as well, Reed. And Mark, I know we're coming up on a break. Any last thoughts for Reed?
No, Reed, always a pleasure working with you and for you guys, and I hope that things go well for our Mountain East Conference teams. And tell everybody on the staff I said hi, especially Allie.
We'll do it. We appreciate you all.
Okay, Mark, so live from Evansville on EVANSVILLE, sponsored by Dawn Savings Bank, and that interview with Reed Amos was made possible by the Robinson Auto Group at the Highlands. And so I know now we're going to be taking it to a break and look forward to our last segment with the wonderful alums from West Liberty, Al Roschek, Dave Caparo, and John Guadagnino will be coming up next. And so it should be quite a crew.
Yeah, we are going to head to break right now, and we will be right back here on the Watchdog.
Thanks again, Reed.
Thank you.
Just think about it. Why is the #1 selling brand of chainsaws not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot? We can give you over 10,000 reasons. That's how many authorized local steel dealers you can find across the country. Visit one and you'll find a range of dependable gas and battery-powered tools, from trimmers to blowers. And you'll find service from experienced professionals. Real steel. Find yours at steelusa.com. Lowe's and Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
Did you know that 3 Ohioans are diagnosed with oral cancer every day? Dentists are doctors of dental surgery and can recognize life-threatening conditions and treat oral diseases before they become serious health complications. Ohio Dental Association member dentists are located throughout the state and are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care. Ask if your dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association and American Dental Association, so you know you're being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit associationsadvanceohio.com.
Do you or any of your family members, neighbors, or friends own a property that you just want to be done with it? If so, call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you to take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. Call 614-470-2000. That's 614-470-2000.
Oh yeah, the perks keep rolling in with Belmont Savings Bank.
More benefits? What now?
It's my Kasasa cashback account. I opened one up a few months ago and keep getting cash back in my account. I get reimbursed for ATM fees nationwide and earn 3% cash back on my debit card purchases.
Really? 3% with BSB?
Really and truly. Kasasa cashback only at Belmont Savings Bank.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
What if your bank offered new checking and savings accounts with a very low balance required, online bill pay, and debit cards issued right away?
I would like that.
What if that bank had extended hours every business day and were open on Saturdays and most holidays?
That's incredible.
And if all their accounts had low fees or no fees?
That's money in the bank. The right bank.
Open your checking and savings account at Main Street Bank. You deserve a bank this good. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Highland Sports Complex is the coolest destination for sports and entertainment the Ohio Valley has ever seen. Pop in for some open basketball in our field house or reserve some turf time for your next practice or game on our synthetic fields. Online registration is open for development classes and leagues for youth and adults. Highland Sports is also the hottest destination for birthday parties and other events. So come challenge yourself on our play climb and enjoy your favorite virtual reality game in the arcade. No memberships required, so visit highlandsports.com to find your next entertainment experience and get ready to reach new heights.
Looking for insurance that gives you options? Then head to Fronapple Burkett Insurance. With multiple carriers to choose from, you can find the perfect policy for you. And our rates? Unbeatable. But it's not just about the numbers. Our commitment to awesome service is what sets us apart. We go above and beyond for our customers because we're not just here to sell insurance, we're here to help you protect what matters most. And speaking of community, that's our focus too. Fronapple Burkett Insurance is right here on 3rd Street in Moundsville, and we're committed to giving back to the place we call home. So if you're ready for insurance that's personalized, affordable, and backed by a team that cares, call Fronapple Burkett Insurance at 304-845-9490. Let's protect what matters most together. Dirty Dog Tavern in West Liberty wants to wish the Toppers best of luck in the NCAA Division II men's basketball tournament. Go Toppers! Tired of scrolling through endless travel websites and feeling completely overwhelmed? Say hello to See For Yourself, the Ohio Valley's newest travel agency. Their expert advisors consult with you to create the ultimate trip with inside access to the best rates. From cruises to all-inclusives and everything in between, they've got you covered. Stop wasting your time and your money and start seeing for yourself. Inquire for free at seeforyourself.fun. That's SEA4yourself.fun. Not that boring .com stuff. seeforyourself.fun.
The Highland Sports Complex is the Ohio Valley's most exciting place to play. A state-of-the-art facility offering fun for the whole family with a climbing wall, arcade, indoor turf, hardwood courts, classes and camps for kids and adults. Plus, you can take a break in the on-site cafe. Learn more online at hitthehighlands.com, or better yet, stop in and visit the Highlands Sports Complex at the top of the hill off I-70.
Preserve your roots, grow your legacy. The Preferred Legacy Trust Company wants to wish the Toppers best of luck in the NCAA Division II Elite 8. River City Restaurant is a full-service restaurant, bar, and banquet facility located in the beautiful Artisan Center in the heart of downtown Wheeling, West Virginia. We have catered over 300 functions, including over 100 wedding receptions. With our experienced staff, extensive menu, and fun nightlife, we are the premier dining and event space in the Ohio Valley. Book River City for your next event, 304-233-4555.
All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Pine Room Podcast here on the Watchdog, hosting live from Evansville with EJ Shadzinski down there. We got one more half hour left, and we are going to send it down there to him on the floor. We got a couple more things we're going to wrap up here towards the end, so before we go, I'm going to just say thank you to all our sponsors again. Belmont Savings Bank, River City, Frone Apple and Burkett Insurance, See For Yourself, Highland Sports Complex, BKCTG, Dirty Dog, Robinson Auto Group, the Preferred Legacy Trust Company, Main Street Bank, and Paris Insurance. But without further ado, we're going to head down to EJ on the floor. EJ, you got me?
I do got you, Mark. Can you guys hear me?
I got you.
Yeah, much better.
Perfect. Well, we've got the number one technology expert in the building here helping us out, so we're grateful for that. So we're live from Evansville. This is EJ Shadzinski, sponsored by Belmont Savings Bank, and we're coming up on our last interview segment of the day. Now, this is brought to you by the Premier Legacy Trust, and we thank Premier for sponsoring this. Premier Legacy Trust, preserve your roots, grow your legacy. The Premier Legacy Trust. And so we're live from Evansville with some special guests here, led by Al Roschet and Dave Caparo and John Guadagnino. And gentlemen, we're so pleased that you could join us. If you don't know, these guys all attended West Liberty. They're graduates, and they became best of friends. And what I'd like to ask you all is, what makes West Liberty so special to you all?
Well, EJ, gosh, it's been now even, 45 years since I graduated in 80 and Dave 77, and John in the early 80s. And I guess it's just the special nature of the people there, the professors, the coaches. I've been going back now for, since graduating for homecoming and basketball games, and it's just a special place. It's just a great place to get an education. They care about you, and it's a place to play DP sports at the highest level.
Yeah, and we're thrilled. You guys came from, you came from about 3 hours away for today, and the other gentlemen you guys met up down here as well.
Yeah, I live in Columbus, Indiana, which is about 45 minutes south of Indianapolis. I moved out there almost 40 years ago. Dave lives in Pittsburgh, and Dave drove from Cleveland, Ohio yesterday. He was fishing in Cleveland and drove to my place in Columbus, Indiana. And John lives in Columbus, Ohio, but was originally from Pittsburgh, but he drove up yesterday. We all stayed at my place, and we all made that 3-hour drive this morning.
Well, it's great to see you. I've heard lots about you and all, and I feel like I've known you forever. Unfortunately, we've just been told that the first game just ended, and they are coming in here to do their press conference. And so I received this alert message that, hey, we're going to have to wrap this up in here. And in the meantime, I'm going to send it back to you, Mark, in studio, and we will try to figure things out here and go to a different location to where we can finish this interview up. And hopefully it only takes about 5 minutes to get a new spot.
Okay. Hey, Al, I thought you'd say that the most special thing about West Liberty was the pub.
It was pretty special when we were there.
That's what I figured, the pub or the bowling alley. All right. Hope you get back to us.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Mark. So you guys take it from here, and we'll join you again real soon.
All right. Be careful.
All right, well, they're going to go get sorted and situated out there, but I want to just say thank you to Belmont Savings Bank for making this all possible. Again, you're listening to Live from Evansville, hosted by the Pine Room Podcast right here on the Watchdog. If you're interested in watching this live, obviously we don't have a camera down with EJ, but you can watch us here in the studio live on YouTube. You can go to our YouTube, the Pine Room Podcast, and it'll be the first video that you see up on our page. Follow us on social media at the Pine Room Podcast, or send us an email at contact@thepineroompodcast.com. You can send us anything. If you want us to discuss some topics, want us to talk about something on the radio, if you got any ideas for us, go ahead and send us an email. And then, obviously, we do this, but we also are called a podcast, and if you don't know what that is, it's just recorded radio. So if you want to go watch us or listen to some more of us, you can go to the Pine Room Podcast anywhere you can find podcast or music at Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and go listen to us there. And just listen to everything we've done so far. We've had 51 episodes, or this will be our 51st episode recorded tonight, but we've had over 106 videos on YouTube, over 80-some episodes of content that you can go and listen to and watch on YouTube and other different things. But, yeah, we've done a lot of stuff here, but we are really appreciative for Belmont Savings Bank and the Watchdog for allowing us to come here and hosting this segment and this special event for the March Madness tournament. But we're having a great time here. Hopefully these guys can get things figured out down there, and we can hear from our last couple of guests. But without further ado, it's not like we got anything.
We'll throw it over to Jared.
Throw it to the studio.
Well, yeah, I was gonna. I just pulled an apple out of my backpack. I was ready to kick back and listen to the final interview, but unfortunately they got kicked out of that room. Actually the final of that game that just ended, that kicked them out, Black Hills State beat Minnesota Duluth 86-68. So that was a whooping there. Black Hills State is 28-5 on the year, and Minnesota Duluth is 26-9. So probably, I guess, it seemed like a pretty good matchup, but Black Hills won pretty easy there.
So
do you have any idea?
West Liberty will don't let me say that. I'm sorry. The winner of West Liberty and New Haven will take on Black Hills State. So we know at least one piece of the puzzle is done. So game 2 starts in approximately 45 minutes, and that's our beloved Hilltoppers taking on New Haven. We heard from head coach Ben Hallett. We heard from Nova Southeastern head coach Jim Crutchfield, West Liberty alumni athletic director Mr. Lynn Allum, and we heard from Mountain East Conference Commissioner Reed Amos. And we were in the midst of hearing from several alumni who are faithful followers of West Liberty basketball, West Liberty alumni, and a couple of really, really good players back in the day that are down there with EJ. They're trying to locate another position to operate out of. We haven't heard
any word back yet.
Haven't heard anything back.
Moving around.
So it's been a really fun couple of hours here. Hearing from people that are actually at the arena at the game. These times are so much fun. I know when the Mountain East Conference tournament comes, used to be in Charleston. We used to go down for that many years ago for the week. I had several buddies that would go down to that. Just a special time of the year, tournament time. No matter what sport it is, tournament time is always a special time for the coaches, the players, and especially the fans too. I know we go down when we go to Charleston and just have an absolute ball, just watching games and going around and just frequenting the bars and going and eating different places, and just a lot of fun with the people and the fans. It's just really a lot of fun.
I was going to say we've been fortunate to have a team that's been good to be able to root for in these postseason tournaments and even the national tournament. So I'm fortunate that we get to root for the Hilltoppers, and that I was a Hilltopper. Yeah. So I hope they can pull one out today and maybe see Coach Crutchfield in the national.
Well, talk about being fortunate. EJ, you're back.
We're back. Can you hear me, though?
Where are you, in the men's room, or where'd you end up finding a place?
You don't want to know, but we're back.
Well, I hope it's not the ladies' room. All right, well, good. Glad to have you guys back. We're joined by EJ Shodzinski, our wonderful host today, along with old-time graduates, some buddies of mine, some personal friends of mine, Al Roschek, Dave Cafaro, and John Guadagnino. Great to have you guys back. EJ, take it away.
I'm gonna. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Oh, great. We've got a little echo, but I'm going to turn it back over to Al, because I want to hear how the relationship started with you fellas, and as well as your affinity for West Liberty, and what brings you in all the way from out of these areas to watch the Hilltoppers.
Well, EJ, we've been doing it for decades now, but my relationship with Dave Cafaro goes back to even our high school days. In fact, Dave was one of the reasons I went to West Liberty. He told Coach Ed Martin, the athletic director and basketball coach, that you ought to go see Al play, and that's how I ended up being recruited by Coach Martin and then playing for West Liberty, and Dave was one of the reasons why. And then Dave and I have been friends for now 50 years, and John Guadagnino played with came in and played for Coach Paul Holshoe back in the early 80s. And we've been friends ever since. I was the best man in Dave's wedding. He was in mine. I was in John Guadino's wedding. We vacation together. We go to our daughter's weddings. We still, we're there all the time. We're together. We go to games. We go to homecoming. Our wives are good friends. So it's a special relationship that goes back all the way back to the late 70s.
Yeah, it's really great. And West Liberty is certainly a special place, and it sort of fosters those kind of relationships. Let's fast forward to today. What do you guys expect here from the Hilltoppers at 3:30?
Well, DJ, you know the records and the stats better than anybody probably. But when you go back to the decade of the 2010 to 2020, the winningest record of any division, and Coach Hallett now is the best coach of any division for the last 6 years. We expect high tempo, high energy, team play, sportsmanship, play at the highest intensity, the highest level of basketball. It's been that way for not just a few years, but for decades. And he's got the guys playing at the highest level and intensity, sportsmanship, unselfish. And this is my 9th out of the last 10 games. So I've been back to the Valley. 4 times I was in the Trove last week and saw him play. So go all the way back to the Fairmont game when we won in overtime. And I've been at every game except the Notre Dame game. So they're playing at a very, very high level, and I expect that to continue.
Yeah, you're certainly right about that. And folks, if you don't know, Al does not live just down in Elm Grove. He is about how long of a trip is it to come in from Indiana?
From West, it's 5.5 hours to West Liberty. So 5 hours to Wheeling, and in the Fairmont game, I brought my grandsons in. First time they were experienced West Liberty basketball. My son-in-law, and we were able to spend time at Figueretti's, Coleman's Fish, DeCarlo's. Saw the Hilltoppers win in overtime, but it's a 5.5 hour drive, and I did that 4 weeks in a row. Went to the Trove last weekend, and it was worth every bit of it, every mile.
Yeah, and I know that from talking to you earlier, you also are friends with Jim Crutchfield.
I sure am. Yeah. Coach, I started following really heavily with West Liberty basketball when Coach Crutchfield started to have his winning ways, and a great man, good basketball. It's amazing that he never played basketball, but he, was a tennis coach, I think, before basketball. But for him to go down and do what he's done at Nova, what a special man who really understands basketball.
Yeah, that's for sure. And really, what an unbelievable hire for Jim Watson, who was then the athletic director at West Liberty, to, at that time, people don't remember, but West Liberty was a bottom dweller in the West Virginia Conference in men's basketball. I think they had won 3 games the year before Jim Crutchfield was hired, and I think lots of people were asking, why did you hire the tennis coach to coach the basketball team? And but as it turns out, it was certainly the right decision.
No question. He understands basketball, and that's, we're always coming back for homecoming and friends, but I think the winning ways of West Liberty basketball brought us even closer together. Just another reason to come back and stay attached to the university, although we always were there. This brought us back even more.
Yeah. And how exciting would it be for, true West Liberty fans if we could somehow find a way to get to Saturday and have West Liberty versus Nova Southeastern for a national title? How great would that be?
Wow. Unbelievable. We were talking about that on the way down, Dave, myself, and John. That has to be a national story. Then you go with the number 1 team in the country, but now we're number 2 seed, one that scores 102 a game. We score 101. We've got more 3-pointers, assist-to-turnover ratio against a team that's undefeated. It would be a great story. And the fact that Coach Hallett coached with Coach Crutchfield for 7 years and played on his team, it would be almost a storybook.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Not only would it be national news, but I think we would see mirror images out on the court. You'll see teams pressing 94 feet, setting up the 3-point shot, scrapping on defense, and it would be a lot of fun.
It sure would, but and people have tried to duplicate that, EJ. And what about West Liberty? We do it every second of every minute of every game. I mean, some people try to do it. They do it for a period of time. It's just that West Liberty does it constantly. If you took the scoreboard away, you never know whether we were down 10, up 10, we play the same way from the first tip all the way to the end of the game. It's quite amazing, and people try to duplicate it, and there's not very many people who've been able to do it.
No, and it's a lot of fun to watch as fans. And I'll tell you what, yeah, go ahead and we're gonna switch phones a little bit here, and we'll switch it over to Dave and John and get them on. But at this point, I also want to swing it back to the studio with the Pine Room podcast. You guys have any questions for these guys?
Yeah, I want to ask Al or John, how do they? You know, we all played back 40 years ago. How do you compare the game today? Not necessarily West Liberty and Nova, how they play, but the difference in the play, the athletes, as compared to back when you guys played basketball. I have my own thoughts about baseball, but your thoughts about basketball, how the game has changed. You got one of those guys, EJ?
I can hear you. Can you guys hear me good?
No, we hear you. Don't hear anybody else.
Yeah. Here we go. This is John Guadagnino. Yeah.
Wait, we're having trouble there, EJ.
Okay, well, I'll just bring it back here with you to finish up. But sorry for the technical issues.
That's okay. We're running out of time anyway, EJ.
Yeah, if you knew where we were at, you would understand.
I totally agree.
Hey, before I let you go, and I'm going to turn it back to you, this interview was brought to you by the Preferred Legacy Group, Legacy Trust. And we want to confirm for Hilltopper fans looking ahead, if West Liberty were to win this afternoon, they would play Thursday afternoon at 1 p.m. So mark your schedules, and we will get together as a group and put our live from Evansville schedule together and let you all know about it real soon.
Okay, great. Thank you for that information. We'll make sure we pass that on. I'm sure it's going to get on social media very quickly. But let's win first. Hey, tell those guys, EJ, that it was great talking to them. I wish we would have had better communication because I had a bunch of questions for them. But we'll get
you know what? They said if we can get this done and come back Thursday, they'll jump right back on the air.
Awesome. Great. Awesome. Fantastic. Okay, good. All right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you to EJ Shodzinski and Belmont Savings Bank. This has been live from Evansville. Thank you to all our guests that have been on the show today. We had a loaded show. If you missed it, this will actually be on the archives of our show and on the Watchdog Network. So you can go and listen to this if you missed the previous couple hours of the show. It feels like we've been here for 5 hours, but only been 3. But just real quick, I want to thank you to the West Liberty Athletic Director, Lynn Allum, one of the winningest coaches of all time, head coach of Nova Southeastern, Jim Crutchfield, the skipper himself, Coach Ben Howlett, Mr. Reed Amos, the MEC commissioner, then Al Rozchek, Dave Cafaro, and John Guadagnino. I thank you to everybody that has been on the show today. We really appreciate everybody being involved. Thank you to EJ for going down there and getting this set up. Apologies for any technical issues. I know we had some sketchy audio there for a little bit, but that's just radio. That stuff's going to happen. And the show goes on, but I think it was a good show. We talked a lot of good stuff. Thank you to Belmont Savings Bank, River City, Frohnapple and Burkett Insurance, See for Yourself, Highland Sports Complex, BKCTG, Dirty Dog, Robinson Auto Group, the Preferred Legacy Trust Company, Main Street Bank, and Paris Insurance. And most of all, thank you to the Watchdog, all the team here, Rocky, Kayleen, Howard, everybody involved, WKKX, WVLY. We really appreciate it. The Pine Room Podcast, to be able to do this here and be a part of this group and family. It's been a really fun time. But hopefully we will be back here Thursday for a little bit of a very concise pregame show for everybody. We'll get those details ironed out, and we'll forward that to everybody so you know what's coming up. But for us in the Pine Room, go follow us on social media at the Pine Room Podcast. Send us an email if there's something you want us to talk about on air, maybe on the podcast. send us an email or get in contact with us through social media at the Pine Room Podcast. And then our online store. If you want some gear, I got my hoodie on right now at the Pine Room Shop, or www.thepineroomshop.com. You can get some gear. I'm going to put some summer gear up there if you're looking for a Speedo or maybe some swim trunks. But we got a lot of stuff going on. We're actually recording our 51st episode tonight. But that's it for me. You guys got any closing notes?
Well, it was a lot of fun. Again, I echo your sentiments. Appreciate our guest, and especially appreciate all our sponsors and Kayleen for doing this on a spur of the moment. It started Friday. I was in Generations having some beers for St. Patrick's Day and got a call from EJ, and from there it just sort of took off. We had a busy weekend, so we couldn't really do a lot of planning. So EJ put a lot of this together, and Kayleen, she worked her tail off today to get everything in order. So, and thanks to Jarrett and Jubb for doing such a great job, and EJ especially out in Evansville. And want to wish the Toppers luck. They're coming on in about 31 minutes. Let's go Toppers, and good luck to Nova Southeastern also. And we'll be back here Thursday with almost a full show.
Yeah. Jerry, you got anything?
No, just been fun. Good job with EJ's been great. Good job to him, and thanks everybody to tuning in, watching. We love you, and hopefully you have a good rest of your day, and go Toppers.
Yeah, well, you heard it here first. We're the Pine Room Podcast here on the Watchdog with live from Evansville. We appreciate everybody that listened. If you're interested in listening to it live, tune in next Thursday, or this Thursday at noon to 3, and we'll be on the radio waves for you to hear, listen, watch, and enjoy. But for us here in the Pine Room, we appreciate everything you do. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you here Thursday on the Watchdog.